Hi, Freedom Queen, and welcome back to Season 1, The Art of Moving the Masses. You are listening to episode number 8, and this is what is blocking your influence. Now, if you haven't gone and watched all of the first 7 episodes, make sure that you go watch them, because the way that I'm doing the podcast this year is it is designed to help you build on these foundations. So the first season of 2026 is all about your power and influence, like the foundations of your power and influence. The next season that we're going to go to inside of the podcast is all on sales and visibility. So for those of you that are inside of our book club, or you're going to be joining us in May for I Made It May, the next season will link back to my public teachings and offerings that I have. Same thing if you're continuing to listen to the podcast, say end of this year when we do our annual conference, Freedom Queen Live. Everything inside of the seasons are going to match my public-facing work, but also my paid locked offerings. So everything is in alignment. And by the way, I think one of the things I'm most inspired by this podcast style is that it works really, really well. And if you're interested, this is something that you can emulate or learn from and implement inside of your own business. So this episode is all about what is blocking your influence. I saw this quote recently, and the quote was about how it is disrespectful to yourself to not have absolute certainty about who you are and what it is that you've done. It is disrespectful to yourself to not have absolute certainty about what you've already done. And so this episode, I want you to bust through in your certainty. And if you get value out of this, hit subscribe, share it, send me a DM on Instagram and tell me about it, because this is what I want to do. I want to bust through and figure out what's blocking your certainty and your influence inside of this episode. So one of the most important things in life is your certainty. And when we move through life with lack of certainty, yes, it's disrespectful to yourself, but it also creates a downward momentum spiral. Like you literally start to lose a velocity in your life. And something I have learned from building a $10 million company is that you must have certainty in yourself. And it's okay to occasionally have self-doubt. It's okay to not always feel perfect. Like I don't always feel amazing. I get really nervous in life. I have times where I have self-doubt, but you can't move through life with uncertainty. Because you can have doubt, nervousness, fear, anxiety, but be certain in yourself. There are so many times in my life where I've auditioned for something. I stood on stage launching my annual conference, Freedom Queen Live, but I had absolute certainty that it was going to work. So many times. I remember one of the first times I opened up a mastermind, and it was a $225,000 launch. And I was so afraid, but I had absolute certainty. I knew that despite the feelings, what my brain, my human flesh was telling me, that it was going to work. You've done so many things. Where you are right now is where past version of you would look at and go, how did she get here? Like, that is amazing. So if you're waiting for something to happen, a milestone, a look, of an achievement, something else, you are never going to make it. That is the plot twist of making it, is that you never make it if you're not owning with absolute certainty what you've done. The difference between you and me is that I move with absolute certainty, like my life matters and your life matters. You're not taking your life seriously enough. You're not moving through life like one day you're going to die. You're not moving as if you can really, really impact people. Certainty is more important than competence. I would rather be with a group of people that are absolute certain and confident in what they're doing than people that are just totally competent but insecure. Because the world responds to people that are confident in what they're doing. The world responds to people that are certain in what they're doing. Doesn't matter how smart you are. Now, through doing this work, you will develop competence because you learn a lot about yourself. When you throw yourself into the arena and you confidently walk out there, you will gain a lot of wisdom when you put yourself out in that arena and you're terribly afraid, but you have absolute certainty in the fact that you're going to win. Despite the fact you might lose sometimes, you might fail, but you get back up again because you're certain that it's not if, it's when. One day you will win. I would choose someone with absolute certainty over competence any day. Because I know that that certain person is going to keep putting themselves out there, and eventually they're going to have competence that's far greater than anyone else. And what I think is really interesting about this episode is that a lot of people that I work with are more advanced business owners. You watching this, you've probably been in business for a long period of time. Not many people that I work with are complete beginners, although I do have some clients that are complete beginners. And what's interesting is that your confidence and certainty in yourself changes as you evolve as a business owner, because in the beginning, you have high levels of delusion, low levels of competence. It's like, I'm going to put myself out there. You're going to post, sell, deliver, and you're talking with complete confidence in yourself, but probably low levels of competence. You know what I'm talking about? You'll go back and watch one of your early trainings and you're like, that was low competence, but high confidence. That's very sexy. It's interesting to people. But then there's a certain level of a person who I'm speaking to you right now. You've already been through that phase. You're not a beginner. You have competence and confidence. But sometimes you have so much competence now that you're not operating at the new level of certainty that you can have. And we're going to be talking about this actually in an upcoming episode about owning your identity and how the concept you have of yourself no longer matches the achievements that you've had. Meaning, you've achieved a lot in your life, but your identity, your self-concept is still back here. And that happens when you grow. And we'll talk about that in future, in episode 9 and 10 after this one. But it's a really important piece, and that's what I'm sharing with you right now. It's that your certainty in yourself changes. And I have found, especially in 2026, I'm reaching new levels of self-certainty and confidence than ever. Actually, when I look back at the last 5 years of my business, I was doing an audit. I do this hindsight reflection for myself. And in hindsight, I look back at so many things. I'm like, oh my God, I was not even operating at the highest levels of certainty that I know that I can have. And that's what happens when you keep evolving. So as you keep evolving, and as I say in Freedom Queen, you get paid to evolve. What happens is you go up. So you start moving with certainty and confidence, and then you gain competence, and then you get to a new level. And all of a sudden here you feel shaky, and then you do it again. You go up certainty and confidence, and then you get to a new level of competence. But when you get to that new level of competency, usually there's more competitors, there's new things. You also gain a lot of clarity, which then makes you go up again. You have confidence and certainty again. Is this making sense? Yes? If you're watching on our YouTube channel, please, I turned on the comments so that you could comment on all of them. I want to see these reflections actively. Or if you're in our book club, let me know inside of our Facebook group, or in our Infinite Mastermind, tell me inside of the mastermind. So as you go up to different levels of competence, this is where you might go through a wobbly season. You might go through a scattered season. Doesn't matter. You could still be making more money, but when you look back in hindsight, you go, oh my God, I could have been doing so much more in these seasons had I known what I know now. But that's the blessing of hindsight. You didn't know what you didn't know, and now you know. And now you get to implement all of the things that you needed to know from that season. And that's what I feel for 2026 for me. For Freedom Queen, I also know that a lot of the things that I experience, you're probably simultaneously experiencing them at different levels. It's like there's the hive. I always call it this hive effect, right? What I'm experiencing, you're experiencing, us, we're all experiencing it. Okay. And you're never alone. I think a lot of times in entrepreneurship, especially when you're going through levels of certainty and competency, evolutions is that you think that you're really alone. No one understands you. That's a trap. It's a trap to think that no one understands you. That's an isolation thing. That's something designed to you're trying to scare your own self. Other people understand you. You are not alone. You are not alone. You're not alone. So as you go through these different levels of confidence and competency, sometimes there's that wobble, but you're on your way up. And what I feel so deeply for people in 2026, because I've worked with probably every single person that you've paid, almost every single person that you've paid in the industry has paid me. And what I see about their work, because I do a lot of studying, I think probably way too much about people's businesses than I should be. That's for another subject. But I really analyze a lot of people, and there's a high level of competency right now, but there's not a high level of certainty in certain individuals. So I really feel like a lot of my work, especially with Freedom Queen Live at the end of this year, I'm becoming the Freedom Queen, is to really incite and help so many people reach these highest levels of certainty and self-trust and influence and power that they ultimately know that they have. So you, if right now you're that more advanced person, the person that has achieved a lot of stuff, but you're noticing high competency but low certainty, I want you to look at your last however many years you've been in business and search for the proof and evidence of why you should be certain in yourself. Search for all of the reasons why you're proud of yourself. Focus more on the things that you've done rather than the things that you haven't done. Focus more on the people that you're here to serve. The clients that love you and adore you, not the clients that left you, not the clients that moved and said content about you, the clients that are sitting in front of you, like, I want to learn from you. Like, spend more time filling up your cup with the most incredible things. Fill up your brain, your heart, and your soul with the most incredible things that have happened to you, because there's always going to be negative things. There's always going to be a challenge. You've been given this mission on this planet to serve and lead. And so I'm going to need you. Your people are going to need you to operate with levels of certainty that you just have never, ever operated with. That's what we're going to need from you, okay? And sometimes, here's the thing, sometimes you have to reboot your life. Like, certainty is a muscle. Confidence is a muscle. You have to work at it. Sometimes you have to give it everything you've got. You've got to be watching your own thoughts. You got to be following through on what you say you're going to do. You have to be taking a look at what you're consuming. You have to analyze where your focus is. Are you focused more on the positive or the negative? Which one? It is up to you to work your certainty muscle, not anyone else. Obviously, staying plugged into things like this will be very helpful for you. That is one of the easiest ways to help boost your levels of certainty. Listen to other people that are certain. Listen to trainings like this where I'm telling you and reminding you who you are. I'm actually mirroring back to you who you actually are. Not short form content. That's also for another episode. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but short form content, no. I'm talking about content that is designed to help you actually grow and be certain in yourself, not question yourself. Okay, so certainty is a really, really big one. I want you to look at in specifically in business, where are you lacking certainty right now? Where do you tell yourself that someone else's strategy is better than yours, that they know something that you don't know? I'll tell you right now, the fastest way to stay broke is by thinking that the people that are further ahead than you are smarter than you. No, they're more certain than you. Okay. Next one. This could be blocking your influence. You are over available. You are giving everyone your energy, your time. You're getting on more calls. You're booking more things with people. You're responding to everyone. You are over available. I had a private client and we were talking recently, and she was asking me about like, how do I consume social media and like, do I engage with people? No, the answer is no. I do not sit at home all day and engage with people's posts. I haven't done that in years. I have controlled consumption time, and it's not even consumption time. It's controlled engagement time. That is where I'm going in and engaging with client posts like I would if I had a brick and mortar business in person, I would talk to my customers. I would talk to the people that are there. I wouldn't go sit in my brick and mortar company all day and just talk to clients 24/7 in my pajamas. Your business social media profile is a business. So if you're consuming content all of the time and you're constantly over available to people, you are sending a signal out to everyone that you don't value your time. What are you doing all day? Sitting at home commenting on Sally's posts? You look available. If you want to be more influential, be less available to people. And when you are available, be intentional. Do more for people in the times that you are available than the people that are always available. I'll give you an example. I used to be available all the time. That kept me at multiple six-figure years or year. Then I stopped being as available, and suddenly my influence grew because when I was available, people appreciated it more. It looked like this. I used to comment and like and respond to all the DMs all the time. Then I started not doing that. And when I would follow someone or comment on someone's post, they would screenshot it, tag me on their Instagram stories and say, oh my God, Bridget James Ling just commented on my post. I decreased my availability and it drove up my value and authority and influence in the marketplace. So many people are like, I want to be connected. I want to be friends with everyone. I see people commenting like on each other's posts like sisters and friends. Stop doing that, okay? You don't look like the authority. You look like you're being besties with your entire audience. And I don't know. Maybe I should just stop trying to teach people these things because I think sometimes you just understand it or you don't understand it. Although I didn't realize it at first, so I'll keep teaching you this. But I think sometimes people, I'm like, why don't you realize that looks very unsophisticated? But I did it too. And then I realized, though, through implementation and creating Freedom Queen, that you do need to change how you're being perceived. So stop being so available to everyone. You're always around. You're always in the comments. You're everywhere, and not everywhere in a powerful presence way. You're everywhere in like, this person is this friend with everyone. That's not influential. For example, you don't see Beyonce commenting on every single person's post. But when Beyonce comments on your post, you're like, that is legendary. Because Beyonce is not available all the time. So why are you available all the time? Okay. Next thing. This loops back to my point number 1, but you're leading with your competence instead of your presence. Presence is more moving than your competency because you can be very smart, but if the way that you deliver your work on video, on everything, in person, in your writing, if the presence says you don't trust yourself, but the competency is high, people aren't going to read it. Because this is something that I really want to debunk. I feel like it's a part of my life's work inside of Freedom Queen. People move to people that are vibrating at a frequency of they trust themselves. They believe in what they're saying. People listen to people who believe in what they're saying the most. So if you believe in what you're saying, other people are going to believe in what you're saying. If you don't believe in what you're saying, they're not going to believe in you. So sometimes I see people talking about influence and I'm trying to figure out if I really want to go down this route right now or save it for the next episode. I think I'll save it for the next episode. But if you believe in what you are talking about, other people are going to believe in what you're saying. And unfortunately, people try to tear you down if you have high certainty and high competence. They'll usually tell you, oh, you're just certain in yourself. But through time, what you'll show people through your non-stop showing up and performing is that you have high competence and high confidence. And that is a match for an 8-figure company that grows at really fast rates. I really just want to say this right now. I don't really know why people aren't growing at fast rates, because if you say you have a mission, that you're really here to change the world, why'd you stop building that mission? If you say you have something that can really change people's lives, why'd you stop showing up for them? Why did you stop posting? Why did you stop making the offers? Why did you blame somebody for that? Who cares about all of that? Focus on the person that you really want to help. Could be yourself that you want to help. I don't care. But focus on the thing, the human, the mission that you're on right now. Okay, that was a sidebar. You got to show up for your people, for yourself. Who cares about all of the other reasons? There's so many people in the online space like, I have a mission, blah, blah, blah. Why aren't you going for it? Why aren't you going for the mission? If you say you have a mission, then why do you care what these other people are doing? I was talking to someone recently, we were talking about Jesus and how Jesus said something to his disciples. He said, go to the cities, and if they don't receive you, wash off your feet and go to the next city. It's like, if they don't receive you and don't like you, go to the next group of people that does. Somebody will receive you. And you better keep sharing your message. No matter what, all the time. Okay, we got to get back to what I was talking about, which is presence over competency. The greatest speakers, the greatest leaders, and I want to break this down on a psychological level. For some reason, if you don't believe what I'm saying here, on a psychological level, why presence works over competency. The greatest leaders speak with power. They speak to move people, right? This is what I do. This is why people say to me, you're such a great speaker. I love listening to you. It's because I speak to move you through the screen. When you're listening, I'm speaking to do something. Well, how do I get you to do something? I got me to do something. I believe in what I'm saying. That frequency that comes out through me reaches you and moves you more than listening to someone with low average competency and low certainty. And when you have both of these things, oh my God, you will move the world. You will move the world and move the world and move the world and move the world. Because you do need to have both, but we'll get to that. We'll get to the articulation of your work later on in season 2, where we'll be talking more about being seen. And for those of you doing I Made It May and sales, because I always go in Q2 of the year, going into summer, I always go into sales and visibility season. So that'll be so fun. But your presence and leaders that speak with presence move people more. The psychology behind this is that we have mirror neurons. And if you listen to one of the previous episodes, I believe it was episode number 4, where I talked about your body language and how that influences people. We have mirror neurons, and when in our body we're listening to someone and we feel moved by them, we will understand that information on a higher degree than if we were passively consuming the information. So when you listen to someone, they make you lean in a little bit more. They make you like want to understand what they're saying. Like you're captivated by them. You're on the edge of your seat and you want to hear them. You are going to get higher transformation. This is why boring coaches have boring clients and complaining clients. People, leaders, mentors, speakers, artists, creators, singers, performers that have this charisma, this presence, they move people because what they're doing is through mirror neurons, through the transference of energy, through osmosis, they're sending a signal to the person in front of them that says, listen. Well, then when you have incredible work, and this will be more in season 2. We'll go into value and what you're uniquely known for and your sales authority. When you have really incredible work, you will be remembered forever. You will impact so many people. When I think about my different clients that are now doing $100,000 cash months, and in really unique work, because they're not all just doing it in money or business coaching, or because I always get that excuse like, well, they're business coaches. Not all of them. And they're making 6-figure months. And even if they are doing it in business coaching, they're doing it in like such this unique way. when you have that mixed with high confidence and certainty, explosion. And then presence, like that is one of the things I'm most proud of with my different clients in my infinite year-long mastermind is watching their presence skyrocket, their photo shoots, how they command themselves, how they hold their body in person, how they interact with people and play the game. Like it is so good to watch the people that are with me for long periods of time and really implement this work and don't quit. They're the ones that turn into total industry icons. So your presence matters more than your competence at first. Then we want to work on your competency, which is one of the next stages of that. So these three things, right? Certainty in yourself. When you're available, it's high intention. So when you do something, it moves 10 steps rather than doing a lot of things and moving one step. And 3, presence over competence. You're going to influence a lot more people. And you'll love when I go into season 2 coming up in Q2 when I'm talking about value and sales authority and very unique work. Like how do you actually take the thing that you do and show how valuable that is to the marketplace and actually like pull out things that are unique about you. This is one of my zone of geniuses. Like what is it that makes your work so good? So I will see you in our next episode. The next episode, episode number 9 is, it's going to be so good. Next episode number 9 is why you are more powerful than you're allowing yourself to be. It's going to be so good. I'm really excited about that one. Okay, I'll see you in the next episode, episode number 9. When it's available, there will be a button here for you to click and watch it. I'll see you in the next one.